Looking for wisdom in the best of places. Right now, right here with me. Today we're talking about real estate, and many of you have been wondering what is going to happen to the real estate market with the coronavirus. Is Corona gonna win? Is real estate gonna win? I'm gonna break it all down for you right now. The stock market runs on confidence, but real estate does not. Will people be able to pay their mortgages, let alone put food on the table? So how bad is it out there right now, and how much of an impact can the coronavirus really have on real estate? To answer that question, I just want to make sure that we get on the same sheet of music with this. Market Insider said that they expect 2.25 million Americans to file for unemployment. And in my opinion, that is the beginning of the bell curve. We haven't even seen the worst of it yet. I think it's going to get a whole lot worse. On top of that, there's an article that just came out from NPR. It says the US orders up to a year-long break on mortgage payments, meaning they're expecting this to potentially last not for 3 months, not 4 months, but actually a year. The government's actually preparing with an 18-month plan. You also have vaccines and therapies. Yay, vaccines! Fine print. Up to a year to 18 months before it can be distributed. Like, friends, this is not a 1, 2, or 3 week problem. And then lastly, Trump is starting to panic over the impact on the economy. He's probably worried that it's a re-election year. And guess what? He's considering reopening the economy. And you know what? He's getting all this pushback because the health experts are saying, dude, then you're basically inviting the coronavirus to sweep the nation and the world. And on the other hand, Trump's saying, but what's worse? Like allowing, the baby boomers to have severe health challenges and actually face, a lot of death. What a horrible moral issue. But we're also talking about the death of the global economy, let alone the US economy. And at this point, it's like, man, what an impossible decision. So what impact is that going to have on real estate? Listen, I told you this day would come. I've been telling you for years because frankly, the market usually turns over a little bit faster than this. The stock market has been delayed. It's 3 years overdue. I'm not surprised. I am surprised that it was a virus that actually set it off. But if you look at the game of real estate, the last time we had a crisis was 2008. And you need to understand something right now. Crisis is always good for real estate. As in, when the market is down, it's good for real estate. And if it's down because of the stock market or if it's down because of the coronavirus, it doesn't matter. It's good for real estate, and I'm gonna help you understand why. And by the way, if you're a real estate investor, this is not the worst of times. This is the best of times. If you're not a real estate investor, this is especially the best of times. Check it out. The stock market runs on confidence, but real estate does not. It runs on supply and demand. And the basic principles say that when we have too much real estate, that we have to have a correction. And so a bubble pops and then we step into a trough. But where are we at today? Do we have too much real estate? We don't. This comes in from Housing Wire. US housing market is missing 3.3 million homes, according to Freddie Mac. 3.3 million homes is, by the way, a lot. So also understand that every year, the US basically creates another $1 million of demand on real estate. And Axios right here says that basically every year, the United States needs another 1 million new homes just to keep up with population. But look over the last decade, every single month over month over month for the last decade, we have a shortage and we're behind. So right now there's no bubble to pop. So what happens to real estate in a coronavirus crisis? It's a census year. You probably got some mail from the government saying participate in this decade's census. And that is because the US Census Bureau wants to basically aggregate important information like this. They know that since 1963 to present, real estate has grown an average of 4.5+% year over year over year. But you can see when we have these moments where we have these declines in the economy. Why does real estate have to keep going up in value? Well, guess why? It's because we will have population continuing to grow, migration, people moving into the country, and we're dealing with a shortage. This is where it gets a little bit crazy, so bear with me. Right here is a graph of the Kondratiev cycle. Basically, it says that real estate in the economy moves in spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter. Prices are going up across the board in a number of different industries. And if I were to simplify this, what it basically says is that real estate builds a bubble when people are building more homes than we need. Because by the way, when we have a housing crisis, people start building. And then when they see the values go up, people start chasing the market. In fact, let me show you exactly what it looks like. So here's what real estate does. It goes up with time. But the way that it looks is more like this, meaning, hey, guess what? Down here we had a shortage of real estate, and then over here we had an overage. When you pass the rebuild value of what it costs to build a home, everything we build beyond this is what is called exactly what it looks like, a bubble. But when the market goes down and corrects, this is the part that we call a trough. And understand that there's always a way to buy real estate profitably during bubbles and troughs. Where are we actually at right now? Because we still have a shortage, we are still on the upside of this, and there cannot be a correction until we have satisfied the demands of public, which means prices have to keep going up. However, what will happen actually with the coronavirus, and will it actually temporarily drop the prices of real estate? Will people be able to pay their mortgages, let alone put food on the table? Will they lose their homes? Will they go back to the bank? Will the government come through with its stimulus packages and get the lenders to ease up and actually give people some forbearance? To really know who's going to win this fight of is it the best of time or the worst of time for real estate, I'm actually going to call a buddy of mine, Tyler Bennett. He and I have done $1 billion worth of real estate. I'm going to get him on the phone right now here with you, and I want to ask him some of these hard questions, and I want to get his take on the market. So dude, Tyler, listen, you and I have collectively done nearly $1 billion worth of real estate over the last decade. I mean, we look forward to economies that are down. We look forward to the recessions, but this is unlike things that we faced in the past, right? I mean, the coronavirus is basically pausing the economy, and then at some point it's going to unpause, it's going to hit play, it's going to go again. And I wanted to get your opinion. What do you think about real estate in this economy? What do you think is going to happen in the short run and in the long run?
So, yeah, these are unprecedented times, something you cannot plan on. So real estate, because it's an illiquid asset, we haven't seen tons of volatility, right? The stock market, the bond market, yield market, all those markets have been just a roller coaster the last couple of weeks because it's so liquid. And people make decisions with their emotions and can respond quickly. So we haven't seen real estate prices dropping or high vacancies or anything like that, yet. But what can we expect? The good news is foreclosures are put on halt. Evictions are put on halt. So during a typical recession, you'll see real estate start to really go on sale. And it's hard to predict that that's really going to happen this time, or we're going to see a huge impact in values because there's not going to be this wholesale real estate market, real estate on clearance. Depending on how long this goes will determine the impact that it has on real estate. But so far, if we turn the corner, we're a couple weeks into this heavily. If we turn the corner in another 2, 3, 4 weeks, we may not see a huge impact on real estate values overall.
Awesome. Now, we have a shortage in the market right now. Freddie is saying we've got 3.3 million missing homes for the demand that's out there. So right now, what will happen if, what happens if we have a shortfall of real estate? We don't have enough of it. And let's say coronavirus puts the economy on hold for 6 months. Let's say the government is actually providing mortgage relief and renters don't have to be evicted. What kind of impact do you think that will have on the economy?
Good news for landlords because supply and demand.
Right.
If there's less supply of rental properties, then demand goes up, and so you could see rents go up as a result of that because there's less inventory coming to the market. You may see some developers, especially big multifamily housing, apartment complexes, stuff like that, get put on hold, or projects that were in the pipeline. I certainly, if I was going to break ground on a big project in a month, I'd be thinking twice about that now.
Doesn't that just create a bigger problem that we have right now? I mean, we're already short over 3 million homes. If things get delayed for 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months, or a year, that's just going to create an even bigger shortage. You're saying that's good for the landlords, but ultimately, what does that do to the values of real estate?
Good question. And again, we've never seen something like this, so it's really hard to predict. I can't go back and look at how did the real estate market respond to a pandemic. Like we could look over previous recessions, whether it's a Great Recession, the dot-com boom, or whatever. But really, values, we could see an immediate dip in values just from scarcity and the economy and high unemployment. But once the market and economy starts turning back on, I think we're going to see growth and continued growth in real estate values simply because there's going to be high demand.
Yeah, it's interesting. Normally you have to build a bubble in real estate for the bubble to pop. And right now the market might behave a little bit as if we had a bubble, but the market always comes back when you have a massive shortage, which we still have. And so whatever we experience, I think all it can do is put real estate more on sale for better prices for investors. It gives us more to clean up with the economy if the government doesn't stay on top of it. And it can only be beneficial for the real estate investors that are out there. A lot of them are following my channel. They're watching my videos every day, and I'm helping them be the most intelligent investors. The coronavirus, my guess is at the end of 2020, when we look back, we'll say the coronavirus was negative in a number of different ways, but it was actually positive for real estate investment. It was positive for opportunity.
Oh, 100%. And what's so neat about the type of product and houses that you recommend for your clients is those always rent. And so when renters moving up or renters moving down a little bit, rarely do we ever have to adjust our prices on our rents. And we always have good occupancy, and so everybody can ride out a little bit of a downturn in the market. And honestly, it's a great time to double down.
It is.
Buy more.
Yeah.
And then ultimately you end up on top.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If nothing changes in real estate, it's an amazing opportunity. If the market is negatively impacted, if properties end up going back to the bank, bottom line is crisis is when the greatest opportunity exists in the world of real estate. So, for everyone that is watching this and wondering, hey, is the coronavirus good for real estate? Is it bad for real estate? Well, it's good for real estate. That doesn't mean that we wish any of the social woes upon families. Certainly hearts are going out to everyone who's suffering or has health challenges or is losing loved ones. I mean, that's a tragedy. My parents live with me. I take care of them. They're both in their 70s, and we're doing everything we can to insulate them from the outside world until this thing really passes over. But a lot of people are curious. It's like, what does this mean? Like, is there even an opportunity in an economy like this? Businesses are being hurt. Did you have to lay off 110 people? Like, there's crazy things that are going on. But in real estate, it's actually quite the opposite. It is not the worst of times. Would you agree that this is lined up to be the best of times?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with it, just like the silver lining for my business, right? I can rebuild stronger, better with all this knowledge. You and I have been through many real estate cycles, and we understand that when there's a dip, really it represents opportunity, and that's going to be the case here too.
Well, and I think the hard part, Tyler, is just getting that word out, because so many people they are trained and habituated by the media to be so afraid that in 2008 when this happened, you and I were buying up thousands of homes in Phoenix and Vegas. We were killing it. I mean, I was talking to a millionaire yesterday. He bought his house for 80 grand. It's today worth over 300 grand. And the biggest opportunities exist at the when fear's at its peak and the market appears to be at its bottom. That's where we're at right now. So, I mean, this is the time to actually get your head screwed on straight and get in the game. When 2008 hit, people thought that it was the worst of times. And in real estate, it ended up being the best of times. With the coronavirus, there's no question about it. Right now, when there's uncertainty in the market and people are worried about real estate and the prices, the way that we buy it will only strengthen our ROIs. Currently, we're averaging over 25% annual return. By the way, the stock market can't provide that anymore. 401ks can't provide that. IRAs can't provide that. Single-digit ROIs won't ever get you where you want to be anyway. And that's what caused me to turn to real estate in the first place. We sometimes have to wait a decade or 12 years for the market to get this juicy. And the problem is we have a problem that needs to be cleaned up. The government isn't going to clean it up. They leave it to the private sector. And that means you and I. So if you are considering becoming an investor, or if you are an investor, the coronavirus may mean bad news across the board, but it certainly doesn't in real estate. In fact, it is, my friends, the best of times. Hey, thank you for watching today's video. I really hope that it answered your question about the coronavirus in real estate. It really is an exciting time to be in the game. I am currently buying more real estate than I have before. In the next 3, 6, and 9 months, when people are waiting and pausing and not sure what to do with their life, I will accelerate and buy even more real estate. In fact, the greater the uncertainty, the more everyone runs in one direction, you learn that the real profits and getting ahead and helping people lie in running in the opposite direction. My friends, that's what we're doing right now. We're being counter-cyclical. Now, by the way, if you don't know how to get in the game, I will show you how to do turnkey real estate and literally make hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars without hardly lifting a finger. And if you want to know what that looks like, my last book I just wrote talks about exactly how to do that. Click the link below. It's a gift from me to you. It's something that you can have entirely for free. All you got to do is submit the information, cover the shipping and handling, and my team will ship the book out to you for free. What you should be doing right now while you are at home is reading it, digesting it, ripping off my strategies and figuring out how to implement it. Because right now, people are losing their jobs and things look horrible and the world looks ugly, when in fact, people are out there building wealth like me, and you certainly can and should be as well. Thank you for watching today's video. Take action on what you've learned here today. And if you're not a subscriber, fix that right now. We'll see you on tomorrow's video.